Hey, welcome back to Pokemon Red. So, as usual, I have a ton of things that I want to talk about, and probably too many things to fit within one episode, but I'm going to try anyway. And I do have my list, like my notes, so I can try to make sure that I say everything that I want to say. So where we left off, I was finally caught my Caterpie and Pikachu, and now I'm going to kind of train them a little bit as I go through the forest here to get to Pewter City, not Pewter City. I caught myself, or I didn't catch myself, I noticed it in editing that I called it Pewter City. I don't know why, that's just kind of what I always called it when I was little, because I guess I just didn't pronounce things right. I think that's a pretty common problem for kids to just never pronounce things properly. Anyways, so first thing on the list is the coloring. I had mentioned something along the lines of how I worried without a border or coloring, if it was just plain like this, you wouldn't be able to tell if this was red or blue or yellow just by quick glancing at the footage. Now, first of all, obviously you know this is Pokemon Red because you clicked on a Pokemon Red video. What I really meant by that was if I were to combine random clips from a whole bunch of different Pokemon games into like a compilation type video. But that's such a specific circumstance, and it's a maybe. I don't know if I'll do that. I don't know. We'll find out someday. Versus this whole series that I know I'm making. So I'd rather have this look good than adjust what I'm doing for maybe this might look better if I do this. Also, I could just put the name of the game over each clip if it really matters that much, which I don't think it does. I don't think anyone's going to care what game it's from because they can tell it's first gen. So the next thing on the list then is how I've briefly mentioned before as well, how I've been really torn between wanting to just play the game and wanting to kind of map everything out and figure out what is the best way to play the game, or like the most effective or efficient way to 100% the game, if that makes any sense. And I've thought of a new way of looking at it. It's like the difference between a first impressions playthrough of game, and I'm essentially just trying to make the world's slowest speedrun, I guess, or like I'm playing the game and mapping it out as I'm playing to figure out if I were to speedrun this, how exactly I would want to do it. So that's why I've been like really hesitant to, or very careful about how I talk about how I'm mapping things out or how I'm using these guys or whatever, because I don't want you guys to think I'm cheating, but it's this weird space because I've already played the game. So in a way, I can look at the guides all I want and it still wouldn't be cheating because I've already played it. Like I'm not, I don't know, seeing things prior to experiencing them firsthand in the game. I don't know, it's weird. So basically, I've kind of decided it's impossible for me to do like a first impressions playthrough of this game because I've already played Pokemon Yellow and they're so similar. You know, it's basically the same game. So I'm not really going to fuss about that anymore because like any other game, I would not look at the walkthroughs or the tutorials or anything because I'm just playing the game, you know? Versus this, like I said, because I've already played it, it's just different. It's almost like I'm doing my 10,000th playthrough on the channel, even though it's my first one on the channel. It's just like my 10,000th playthrough period. You get what I mean. I will say, however, the only time I have ever looked at a walkthrough on the first playthrough of the game was in Twilight Princess, and I only looked at it purely because I don't remember how long I'd been playing. I've been playing for several months at that point, and I was getting really frustrated with this one boss, and I wasn't looking up to find out how to kill the boss. I just wanted to see how far into the game I was, because I was thinking, this has got to be like the second or third to last boss in the game, right? Because it's just so difficult. Oh no. And I wasn't even like halfway or a quarter way through the game, I don't remember, but basically, I was like just getting started apparently, and like, what? How is this difficult this early in the game? And I was very annoyed and frustrated by that. And so I never completed that game either on Twilight Princess for Zelda. That's another thing I want to do too, is I want to go back and play all the Zelda games in order, the same way I'm doing with the Pokemon games. But both of those are such a huge endeavor that I don't dare do both at the same time. But yeah, so I guess essentially this series is kind of following me along as I figure out how to speedrun without looking up anything that anyone else has written up on how to speedrun this game. It's like I'm just trying to figure it out for myself and then taking you guys along the ride as I figure it out. And that, I guess, speedrunning is probably something I would like to actually do someday. But when I first started this series, I didn't think of it that way. I didn't think of it as I'm mapping out for a speedrun. Like, this is just the way that I played years ago. And I didn't think of it as mapping out speedrunning back then either. I guess this game is just naturally lends itself towards speedrunning. It's a very natural thing to do once you've played the game so many times. And even if you've only played it a couple times or played a couple different Pokemon games, they have such a formula to them that once you've played one Pokemon game, you've kind of played them all in a way, because they're all so similar, but also not at all, because like you have different Pokemon, you have slightly different storylines. So I feel like speedrunning is just such a natural thing to do in this game that I just kind of automatically started going towards that. Which I actually find interesting then, that I've never actually speedrun a Pokemon game. The only game I have ever done a speedrun of was Legend of Zelda, again, Phantom Hourglass on the DS. Now that was not a 100% speedrun, that was just a storyline speedrun, so I didn't get all the ship parts and stuff like that, but I used to do that in like 4 hours, and I did that dozens of times. Like, I would start the game over first thing in the morning and have it done by lunchtime. And, I don't know, I thought it was fun. So yeah, that's actually something oh no, I screwed up. So yeah, that's actually something you can probably look forward to in the future on this channel, is speedruns, or like tutorials on speedruns, or like, I don't know, tips and tricks of how to handle this type of situation in this game, and blah blah blah. I don't know, I think that could be interesting, because I haven't really looked for it, but I certainly haven't seen it like in my recommendations from any other channels. Like, it's just something I've never seen before, people explaining how to speedrun. This patch of grass right here, this is hell, literally. Welcome to hell. I will not be entering. We're just gonna kind of take a glance. It's like on Monopoly when you're just visiting the jail. I will not be touching that patch of grass, because that is where I spent like 50% of my time in Pokemon Yellow, just infinitely training to beat Brock and never beat him. Well, I mean, like, sometimes I'd beat him, but yeah, I hate that patch of grass so much. Psst, 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 psst. What's hard work? Making annoying noises? I just spit all over my microphone. I'm spraying repel. Oh, no, that's what I was just doing. Psst. That's how you spray your repels. Okay, no dancing allowed. Pewter City. Pedor City. Feed on the Tour City. A stone gray city to match the stone gray icy heart of its leader. Notice! You are noticed. Did you check out the museum? No! Really? You absolutely have to go. Oh, I forgot that was a thing. It's right here. You have to pay to get in, but it's worth it. Now give me a tip for delivering you. I'm your Uber. See you around. Oh, thought we had a moment there, and then he just abandons me. Wow, this is a lovely park here. A shady old man got me to buy this really weird fish Pokemon. It's totally weak, and it cost 500. I still have no idea what that symbol is supposed to mean. Take your time. I will. How much is some time? Can I buy a bottle of time? I don't see it here. There aren't many serious Pokemon trainers here. They're all like bug catchers, but Pewter Jim's Brock, what? Is totally into it. Into what? Bug catching? I feel uncomfortably tall. If you look at, like, my hat is lined up at the top of his head, I don't like it. When Jigglypuff sings, Pokemon get drowsy. Me too. Welcome back to episode 2, apparently. You, sir. What? Team Rocket is at Mount Moon? Huh? I'm on the phone. Scram! Welcome to the Cable Club. This area is reserved for 2 friends who are linked by cable. Here! Linking your cable? Isn't that illegal? To, like, mooch off of someone else's cable TV? Pokemon learn new techniques as they grow, but some moves must be taught by their trainer. That also reminds me, another thing I thought of, I wonder if when you bring your Pokemon to the daycare, if they learn new moves while they're training there. I don't think they do. I think that was always why I didn't like the daycare. But I could remember that wrong, or that might, I don't know, be different in different gens and blah blah blah. Nidoran, bow wow!
Like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell.